welcome. This particular video is going to be about learning target LO2, which as you can see is all about open versus closed statements. Alright, now again, don't forget to put your name, alright, your period, and these notes, were done on 8/8 or on 8/9. So 8/8 was a Wednesday and 8/9 was a Thursday. Alright, so just to clarify, if you're in first, third, or fifth period, it was on this day, and if you're in second or fourth period, it was on this day. Alright, now I want you to take a couple seconds to read through each of the examples of open and closed, and use your think bubble to write what you think is the difference between them. Like, what do you think makes an open statement versus a closed statement? So I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Now remember, I hope you're not leaving these blank, alright? Because when I check notes, if I ever give you credit for them, if you ever go back to them, it's important to show that you're engaging in the notes process. You always want to be thinking about what's on this page and not just copying blindly. Okay, so always have something in here. And it could be anything like open seems general. Okay, and that's a perfectly good thought. All right, so don't leave this blank. Okay, all right. Now the official answer is open statements have a variable. Now it's important to know what this word means. Now you're used to these variables, right? That like x. X always represents a number in math, right? That's a variable. But a variable in general is just something that's unknown, all right? So that's why we use x. We don't know what x represents. It's unknown to us, okay? So another variable would be he. Who's he? Let me write that down. Right? Is this James or is it Mark? We don't know which he they are talking about. Same with this one. She. She would be the variable in this statement. And she, that's the word that makes this statement open. Okay? So we're like, which she are we talking about? Now, a closed statement is supposed to be the opposite. It doesn't have a variable. So closed statements, you can determine if it is true or false. So if we look at our examples, all right, I'm going to start with this one. Every triangle has 3 sides. That statement is true. Okay? We know it's true. There's no argument against it. It's just true. There's no variable, right? Albany is the capital of New York. Now, even if you didn't know the answer to that, you could go on Google and you could find out that, in fact, that statement is also true, right? Just because you don't know it doesn't make it unknown, right? This one, no prime number is even. Now, just a quick reminder, a prime number is a number that factors are 1 and itself. For example, the number 3, right? 3's only factors are 1 times 3. So, is there a prime number that is even? In fact, there is the number 2. So this one is false, right? Now 2 is the only example of that, but it still proves that it's false. So in this one, you can determine whether it's true or false. In this one, you can't. So let me write that down. Can't determine T or F. So true or false, which is the common way to write true or false, right? Now again, always make your notes nice and colorful. So this is the key thing to remember about open, closed, right? This one is open, this one is closed. And you don't have to use the same colors as me. That's not important. All right, let's do some examples. Now remember that I do, that's my job, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite each of these statements so that if it's closed, we'll make it open. And if it's open, we'll make it closed. Okay, so our first statement says that book was long, right? This is an open statement. The reason we know it's an open statement is this. This is our variable. Because we're like, what book are we talking about? It could be any book. So in order to change it so that it's closed, we need to choose a book. Now there's lots of long books, all right? The one I hear the most, at least in this time, is Harry Potter. And just to make sure that we're specific, I'm going to write Harry Potter number 5, right? It has a long name. I'm lazy. All right, so Harry Potter number 5, it's a book, so I'm going to underline it, was long. Okay, so that specific book, and it's no longer open. Okay, now this side, a square has 4 right angles. That statement is closed, because in fact, it is true, right? If you don't remember, a right angle is a 90-degree angle, just for reference, okay? So in order to change it so that it's open, okay, I need to figure out what is this statement about. And the way to figure out what the statement is about is you need the noun, all right? The noun is square. So that's the word I'm going to change. And usually we change it to shape, right? A shape has 4 right angles. Because now we have a variable. Because we're like, what shape? It could be a square. It could be a circle. It could be a pentagon, and the list goes on and on. We don't know what shape they're talking about. Okay? All right, so let me just underline these so you notice them more. Okay? All right, now moving down. All right? This time we would have done, in class, we did thumbs. So open is always your first choice, and close is your second. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to decide whether A is open or closed, and B is open or closed. So he really likes ice cream. Is that open or is that closed? And don't forget why. Okay? Same here. All ice cream is made with chocolate. Open, closed, Y. And the Y doesn't have to be very long. All right, hopefully you decided. All right, the answers is A was open, okay? It has a variable, he. Okay, so this was my variable. All right, we don't know who we're talking about. Who likes ice cream? It could be anybody, okay? In B was closed, right? Because it is false. Your key word, all. All right, now if the word all wasn't there, let's say we cover it up, this would now be an open statement because now ice cream would become our variable, all right? Because we'd be like, well, some ice cream is made with chocolate, but some is not. But because it has that word all, it is officially false, okay? To end our notes today, okay, we're going to do C just like we did up here, okay? If it's open, change it to closed. If it's closed, change it to open. And don't forget to have one sentence explaining how you changed it and why. I'm going to give you about 20 seconds to work on that before I give you the answer. All right, so this is in fact an open statement, okay? Our variable is the word he, because we don't know who is thinking this statement. So if I want to change it to closed, all I need to do is either add a name, all right? So I can, and I'll just put this as my explanation, can change he to a name, Or write everyone. Okay, so I would change it to everyone thinks math is awesome. Which in my world, that should be true. So, okay, so everyone thinks math is awesome. All right, the only thing I would consider not correct in this statement, all right, is adding a girl name. So maybe I should change this to a boy name. Because if you say, like, Jill thinks math is awesome, well, it was a he. Why would you change a he to a girl name? That doesn't make sense. All right, so we are now done with open versus closed, which is the notes for LOVE.